Good evening, everyone. This is Chudi. Um, because I know that we're going to just take a short break and just maybe make a little move and discuss something very very pertinent on real estate. I'm going to just do something quickly. We are live on Instagram. We are also live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram and also live on Facebook. We're going to be talking about the upcoming real estate housing crisis. I just want to quickly just type this. And to just quickly type this and pin it. I'm going to pin the comment. Yeah. We are looking at the upcoming housing crisis. There will be and how to position oneself for the upcoming housing crisis. There is going to be a housing crisis. This pandemic is not going to make everything be the same. Things aren't going to be the same. A lot of changes are going to occur. And so I am forced to have this discussion with a lot of people. I've been asking questions. And people have asked me questions like, what do you think about coronavirus and the impact that it will have on real estate? And I've always said it will not have impact. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. It's going to have a massive impact on real estate. It's going to already having a massive impact on real estate. How people do business. First of all, we need to be able to understand this. We need to be able to understand this. That the housing crisis is going to be massively affected because real estate is about people. Real estate is about people. Real estate is about the people and the quality of their lives. Now we need to understand that since real estate is about people are getting messed up financially, so it's probably going to affect them a whole lot. And that is why we need to be able to understand how this will work. It's going to affect massively. I'm telling you, massively. It's going to affect massively. It's going to have a significant impact in the lives of people, in their homes and all that. But the question will now be, let us understand what the crisis is like versus let us understand what we need to be able to do to respond and to be able to put ourselves and be able to aid ourselves and exempt ourselves from the calamity of the next virus. There is every crisis always bring other children alongside with it. Now there's the coronavirus. There's also going to be, or there's already started, what we call the hunger virus, what a lot of people have called the hunger virus. Now the hunger virus is as a result of, because of the coronavirus, a lot of people are losing their jobs. There's a lot of pay cuts in jobs. Today, some of us, or probably yesterday evening and through this morning, a lot of us woke up to the fact that 75% of the staffs of Access Bank will be withdrawn and will not have any job anymore. Will not have a job anymore. Now, what this implies for people is that organizations already taking concrete steps to say, okay, we don't want to have anything to do with people. We send people anymore. Now, a lot of people are going to lose. The other time it was that Arit is asking some of their workers to work from home and to do some other stuff and to take pay cuts. Now it is having significant impact in the way people react. Just imagine somebody who probably earns maybe 100,000 naira, and you're asking the person that is probably going to take a 40% pay cut. That means the person will probably now start earning 60,000 naira. That means the person now needs to adjust his daily expenses or his livelihood. Or probably maybe the person the person used to stay in a particular kind of house, the person needs to now begin to moderate his expenses according to the income that is coming to him now, unlike before. Despite before now, he has always complained that there is no money. Now, the money is even tighter to get. So people who used to be very generous may probably not be generous anymore. So it's going to have a significant impact in the lives of people, no doubt. And it's also going to affect the housing market, no doubt. I'm one of those who want to be highly very optimistic. But now you guess what? I'm not going to be optimistic for just nothing. I'm not going to be optimistic just saying, okay, you know what, this thing is going to work and all that. This thing is going to. I'm not going to do that. But I want to be able to talk to us to how we can now best position ourselves. The housing crisis is going to be in full effect. It's going to affect a whole lot of people, and how people are good. It's going to be very, very bad. And I don't want to ballyhoo anybody to say, we are on top of the game. It is all lies. If people tell you they're going to be on top of the game, nobody has experienced this kind of thing before. The world has never experienced it before. So nobody has a particular solution to how it's going to work, my friend. Nobody has a solution to how it's going to work. But guess what? There is a way it's going to work. There is a way people are going to manage themselves and be able to explore opportunity. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. There's going to be what we call the housing crisis, no doubt. There's going to be a housing crisis. Everybody, motivational speaker may want to tell you, we're going to do this thing, it's going to come out of it and all of that. Everybody may want to tell you, but there's going to be what we call the housing crisis. Because housing is not just about it, it's not about one person. It's not about the structure. It's about the people. As long as we have people losing their jobs, taking pay cuts, not having a particular place to stay and not a particular place to work, they're going to be affected, my friend. A lot of people will be affected. So for people to now get ahead of themselves, to be able to say, okay, you know what, we want to go beyond all of these things that we are being faced. How do I position myself? The first thing that we must realize is this. Of how this coronavirus is going to affect the market is because there are going to be job losses. And when there are job losses, what does it do? It affects every other person. Somebody's asking, do you advise we keep our cash? I'm going to discuss that. I'm going to discuss that in the course of this. It's going to be massive job losses. And your cash, and I'm going to tell you why your cash is probably going to become trash if you don't invest in the right thing. I'm going to also tell you why your cash will become trash. You are asking 360 woman virtual tours. You're going to be asked how your cash can also become trash during this particular period. Now, one of the things that we must understand simply is this. As long as people keep losing their jobs, it's going to affect the market. It's going to affect the real estate market. The housing market will be affected. Now the question will now be, how do I position myself so that I am not affected? How do I position myself so that I don't lose money? How do I position myself so that even if other persons are affected, I will be exempted from the problems of the market? This is what we are probably going to do. Now is the time we are going to ask some questions. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm probably going to provide an answer. The first question you may need to ask is this. Are all real estate created equally? The answer is simply no. All real estate are not created equally. All real estate are not created equally. Are all real estate created equally? No, not all real estate are created equally. Some real estate are better than some. Some real estate are better than some. Some real estate will make more money in recession than some other real estate. So the question will now be, what kind of real estate should I be selling? Or what kind of investment should I have involved myself before now? There are certain kind of investment that you'll have probably have made maybe 1 year ago, 2 years ago, that probably when you are going through this phase, you now begin to regret why you invested in those kind of real estate. 3 years ago, 1 year ago, you probably may invest. You now begin to regret, why did I take my money to invest in this kind of property? So it is not the property that is bad. It is how you have invested that has been bad. It is what you have taken your money to do that is bad. It is the kind of portfolio that you are putting your money into that is bad. Real estate is not generally bad. It is the kind of investment that you have done. Let me tell you one kind of real estate that will go bad during this period. Single family homes will be destroyed. The market for single family homes will be destroyed. What are single family homes? Where one person just buy a property and he builds a house for himself alone. That kind of investment will go bad. I've been talking rental income for a long time. And some people have been like, what is he talking about? Now, the glamour of rental income has come to play. The glamour of rental income has come to play. Now, what kind of investment will go bad? All real estate are not created equally. That's one thing you must realize. We may all be in the same real estate. We may all be doing real estate. All doing real estate. But it is not everybody that does real estate that will make money. It is those who go with the intention of cash flow that will make money during this period. And that's why you must realize all of this. So are you a real estate investor? Some of us, we claim to be real estate investors, but we are not really making money from real estate. And so some of the things that we realize as real estate investment are the things that are the places that we build as our own personal homes that we think is real estate. But that is not real estate. So single family homes will be destroyed. Let me tell you this. Single family homes will be destroyed. The market for single family homes will be destroyed. A lot of people will not make money from real estate anymore because of the kind of investment that they have invested. So there's going to be what we call the housing market crash for single family homes. Now, and that is the kind that majority of Nigerians have been investing into, whereby I have access to cash, and the only thing I want to do is to build my own personal home. The only thing I want to build is to say, okay, I have a roof over my head. But the question is this: will that market be sustainable over time? Let me tell you, I'm going to explain to you. Even if you have a tenant right now and you have just one bunk duplex, why you should be scared? One duplex, why you should be scared? Now, all real estate are not created equally. All real estate are not created equally. And that's one of the things you must realize. Now, let me tell you this. But purchase of single family homes will drop from 70% to 14%. Purchase of single family homes will drop from 70% currently to 14%. So all the single family homes, where you are doing single family homes and the like, will drop massively. Tade is saying, on the other hand, that one duplex makes your economy complex. It makes your economy complex. So, we are hailing, you have a duplex, and all that. There's going to be that's a major crash will happen. It's going to happen. So, it will drop from 70% home buying purchase of single family homes will drop from 70% to about 14%. That is an alarming rate. That's going to be at an alarming rate. It's going to drop significantly. And that is where a lot of people, if you say you have ever bought property, that is the first thing that a lot of people are even doing. That's the kind of investment that people say that they are doing as an investment. Now, the question will not be, what kind of opportunity should I be taking? What kind of opportunity should I have taken before now? The last time, I think Chudi was also talking about it, and I think he mentioned it, that the first thing that the three things that you need to look at is okay, what can give me predictable income, what can give me consistent income, and what can give me indestructible income. Those are the three things that everybody who is investing in real estate should look at, not because you want to own it as a possessor, not because you want to live in a house and have a roof over your head. The challenge of many people who are investing in real estate is simply because they are only just thinking about just a roof over their head, instead of thinking of many roofs over many people's head, or just probably maybe a roof over many families' head. So instead of just one roof over one family's head, now think of one roof over many families' head. And that is the way you can build your own personal economy. And that is the way you can build your own space. Now, I've said that 70% of single family, there will be a drop from 70% single family home ownership to 14% single family to 46% home ownership. Why? Because that market is going to be destroyed. Number two is because all real estate are not created equally. You need to be able to look at this. There's going to be what we call, because people, if you are losing your job, I'm going to ask this question. If you are losing your job and you used to live in a duplex, what kind of house will you retain? Let me say, you used to live in a duplex as a tenant. What kind of house will you probably be living in right now? If, for example, VGC used to be very glamorous for you, and probably you don't have anything, you only have a house, and you are living in a duplex as a tenant, what kind of lifestyle will change for you right now? Well, if you work for let's say Arik, or let's say you work with Access Bank right now, and Access Bank is probably retaining you and a few other persons Access Bank is not currently retaining you, and they are asking you that you are going to take a pay cut of 40%. Let's imagine that your income, your total income is about 700,000 naira, and you stay in VGC. 70%, 40% pay cut. 40% pay cut is almost about, you are saying you are taking out, is it about, you are taking about 40 times 7 will be 250. You are taking about 280,000 naira from your income. That means you are left with about 480,000 naira as against 700,000 naira. As against 700,000 naira on a monthly basis. And guess what? If your rent in VGC used to be 3 million naira, now it simply means that you probably may not be able to sustain that rent anymore, because you will now need to move out to a suitable place that can suit you. So the question is, where will you now move to? You probably move to a smaller and cheaper apartment, and that is where a lot of people are going to get to. You probably now make a move to smaller and cheaper apartments. Now the problem of a lot of people is that the market is moving with the coronavirus. I'm telling you the truth. The market is moving, and people are not going to be more critical in the kind of investment that they do. And that is why participation in certain markets will now become very key and critical. So it will not be as, oh, I used to invest in certain kind of investment. People are not going to be investing, looking for opportunities within a portfolio where they can make money. Now, anybody who is probably going to be investing in real estate will be doing so for the purpose of making money, not for the purpose of just saying, oh, I'm a big boy alone. Even the big boys want to make money. Even the big boys want to make money, want to get some musano. They want to make money, man. They want to be on the driving seat of their own economy. They want to be the president of their own economy, the CEO of their own economy. They want to drive their own economy and engage more in building more realistic portfolios for themselves. So the real estate market the housing market is going to crash, no doubt. Nobody should lie to you. The housing market that will not crash is the one that provides you what we call residual and consistent income. What is residual income? We call it cash flow. The flow of cash on a regular basis into your portfolio, into your pocket, will be the kind of things that people would now buy. What are kind of properties that people will now be going for? People will probably be now going for what? Smaller apartment. The smaller the apartment, even the better. Because I want to predict this, that three bedroom will now probably be out of fashion as compared to studio apartment, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. Those are the kind of apartments that will probably be in vogue. Do you know why? I'm going to explain to us this. Small will now be the new trend of investment. Small will now be the new trend of investment. The smaller their portfolio, the better the chance. Now, what it simply means is this. With your 80 million naira, you can do much more better than somebody who has an 80 million naira and do a single family apartment. Because you probably have about 10 to 12 of those kind of apartment. Reason is this. Because the market is changing. The market is changing. Now, in the era of boom, you can make mistakes. Era of doom, you cannot make mistake and go scot-free. You'll be flogged. You'll be flogged financially. You cannot make error in the era of doom. You can only make error in the era of boom. Anybody can make any kind of financial decision and they'll still go away with it scot-free. But in the era of doom, you cannot afford. In the era of crisis, you cannot afford to be careless with your investments. You cannot afford to be careless with the kind of portfolio that you put your money into. You cannot afford to be careless with how you direct your money, how you invest your cash. Because that is why I said something, that cash will now be a trash. Because cash will now be trash because of the fact that you are not investing in the right kind of portfolio. The reason why a lot of people won't make money from real estate is because you will have investment that is not paying you good dividend. You will have investment that will not pay you good returns. You will have investment that will not pay you get good value on your investment. And that is where a lot of people will experience their crash from. Because now is the time to take advantage of opportunities as they are. Now, because like when I talk about single multifamily apartments, are you doing volume? So what kind of apartment should you be going for? I've told you that you now need to do apartment that will give good income. But one will never be enough. One portfolio, one apartment will never be enough. One apartment will never be enough. What you need to go for. Tade, the other time I asked him this question, he said 8. But one thing I have said again, one thing I have also said is that minimum of 16 apartment is what you should get. Reason is this: a lot of people will lose their income, and you need to be able to absorb the lower cadre of people into your platform so that your income can become consistent. Because Nigeria or the world, we have like a pyramid system like this, where there are only few at the top and there are many at the bottom. So this is like like a pyramid system. For those of you watching on Facebook, this is it. You have like a pyramid. We operate like a pyramid system where people at the top, we have a few persons at the top, and you have great multitude at the bottom. For those of you in Instagram, this is it. So you operate like a pyramid system. So there are more on the ground. There are more under than there are more upwards. They are less upward, they are more under. And what it simply means that you need to be able to absorb more people by the pyramid, because there are very few at the bottom. So you have more competition on top, and you have massive demand on under. So that means you need to now begin to fill the gap from under before you can go up. So your investment is not just tailored for people on top. It should be tailored for people whereby there will be huge demand for your product. Now, as a real estate investor, you need to work based on demand and supply. What kind of apartment will be demanded for every time and time again? And that is why you need to look for apartment, the kind of development whereby, as you are even currently developing, somebody is already paying rent on the property. You have not even started. You're only probably maybe just starting from the foundation, and somebody is already helping you to say, this is my own contribution for. When you are finished developing, I want to take my own unit. 2019, when we started our Fairfield apartment, we have not even started 20 units of apartment. Do you know why? Because there is already a ready-made market for apartment. Now that there is even this issue, there will be more demand for rental apartments than ever. Why? Because people who used to be up there, who may not even ever dream that they will live in a duplex before, are probably going to now shrink their lifestyle to go for apartments. That's the truth. Because they can't afford to live in those kind of glamorous kind of life that they used to live before. Oh, and pretentious kind of life. Everybody is now a hustler. Hey, everybody is now a hustler. Almost everybody is now hustling one way or the other. Those who used to pretend that they are investors are now beginning to realize that they do not have investments. Those people who used to pretend that, okay, I have investment in real estate, they are now beginning to realize, I never was an investor in real estate. People who used to throw money anyhow and say, okay, I'm buying this, I'm an investor in this, they're now beginning to realize that they don't have those kind of portfolio that they think that they had. So their real estate investment is not even their savior anymore. Their real estate investment is almost like a lazy asset for them. So there will be a housing crash, but the housing crash will not affect a particular kind of market. And the kind of market that will not be affected is what? Is the rental income market. The multifamily market, the rental income market. I've kept on talking about it for the past 5 years. For the past 4 years, I've been consistent on this. That the rental income space is an indestructible space to be in. Indestructible space to be in. You need to get yourself more involved in that kind of market. You need to get yourself more involved in that kind of market. It is not a fluke. Let me tell you this. It's not a fluke investing to make money. But it's a fluke investing to pretend that you have a roof over your head. You don't need a roof over your head when your economy is at a risk. You don't need to sweat it all out, living in Bogije, living in Ekpe, whereas your place of business or your place of business or productivity is somewhere in Victoria Island. You don't need to be pretentious about it. And cash flow never lies. I think that's one of the things we're going to take out from the episode that we had since last week. Cash never lies. Somebody who is enjoying cash flow, he does not lie. He may not be telling you how he's making his money, but cash flow never lies. Cash flow never lies. Everybody are probably in their homes. Everybody is looking at how you can open up the economy, the landscape, and right now, everybody wants to get back into business. But the truth of the matter is this: cash flow never lies. We have seen many things gotten destroyed, but certain things will never be destroyed. Cash flow will never be destroyed. The things that you have invested in that is tangible, predictable, that is residual in nature will never ever fail you. Will never ever fail you. So for most people, this is what you need to get started in life. And that is what focus on the kind of investment that pays you residual income, consistent income, predictable income, and indestructible income for you. And that is the kind of thing. A lot of people, we need to start getting, those of you that have gotten used to living in, I want to live in a duplex, I want to do this one, I want to do this kind of lifestyle. Things have changed, my friend. Things have changed. It is not how it used to be. It is not how it used to be. And this is a serious matter now. It is not how it was before. Things have changed, and things will keep on changing. Things have changed, and things will keep on changing. Now, sometimes, and it is important that at this particular time, for those of you who have certain kind of investment now, who have certain kind of fund now, it is important that you think in terms of your cash. Now, your cash will become trash if you do not invest in the kind of portfolio that will pay you residual income. That is why it is a false assumption. It is a lie to your brain, and it is a lie to your person. And it is disillusional to think that the kind of house that you have the roof that you have over your head is probably going to be paying you bill. That is an asset. It is not an asset. It may probably be your liability. Because that investment, why not? Let me tell you this. Will it have been better? Is it not better for you to have access to 15 million naira, 30 million naira, and you go to rent an apartment? You rent an apartment, and you own, and with that you have probably built, and you're able to build three or 16 units of a 2-bedroom. Let me tell you this: what some of you should be doing with your landed property. You have a plot of land. Let us say you have a plot of land. Sorry, I just got a call. You have a plot of land somewhere, maybe in a good place, in a good location. You have a plot of land in a great location. I need to get this. I need to get this done. I'm having challenge with. All right. Okay. Okay, now I'm okay. I'm okay now. So let's say you have a plot of land. Let's say a plot of land somewhere in a good location, in a great location, and you now you have about 50 million naira. Do you know? Probably I will advise you to get started with doing your foundation for the apartment, for a single, not a single family apartment, for a more apartment, which may just be self-contained studio apartment. You know, all those apartments whereby your sitting room is just an entire one room. You have your kitchen inside, you have your bedroom, you have your bed inside, you have a space, a living area space, and all that. You have all those kind of things in your apartment, and that is the way to get started. See, nobody is saying that, and the first idea is that somebody wants to build somebody has money, he has a plot of land. The first thing he's thinking is how he's going to build a 5-bedroom mansion. And let me tell you this: that idea is a poor man's idea first, because you have made money first in your first time you have ever made money in your life. The first thing you want to build, so that I can live rich, because I have lived in poverty before, and now need to do 7-bedroom duplex is what I want. Duplex. That is a first level of assumption. But what somebody who has a cash flow mind will be thinking about, will be thinking of how he can make more money from the the returns. So looking at this land, fetch me. How many size of? I was discussing with somebody yesterday, and it was like, how many? If I have this plot of land, how many of these 2-bedroom will I get? And I said you could get this particular size. You could get 24 units of 2-bedroom if you are doing ground and up. And he was scared. And he was, whoa, 24 units? What do you mean by 24 units? And I started the kind of land that he has. Now, some of us, we have good land in good location. But the problem we have is that we are not thinking in terms of multiple assets, multiple income, multiple cash flow. We are not thinking in terms of making sure that those real estate works for us. We are not thinking in terms of maximizing the land that we have, the space that we have, the opportunities that are coming on a regular basis. We are not thinking in terms of maximizing them. And that is why for most people, they become financially stagnated. Why? Because there is no flow of cash coming into their lives. So your land should not just be lying down there as a lazy asset. Your land should now be used. You should now let your land become productive. Let your land begin to work for you. You know, when I talk land working a workable land, your land is there. You know, your land is there, but your land is not productive. Your land is not giving you income. Your land is not giving you some stuff. So look at what you can now do with your land. Let me tell you this. You get started with your plot of land. Your plot of land can give you a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, a 3 bedroom, a 1 bedroom and a 2, between a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom, and you just get started. Guess what? You will have more income from that 1 bedroom apartment than you just thinking of doing 5 bedroom duplex. It is a poor man's thinking. It's a poor man who wants to do everything. Who wants to become rich he wants to show his riches to people. He wants to become the landlord, the head of landlord association, the president of landlord association in the streets. It is a poor man who thinks that way. But a man, it is better for you to be unknown, than for you to be known, but you have no cash flow. Because the greatest burden anybody will carry in this season, post-COVID, will be to carry an empty pocket. The greatest burden will not be the burden of COVID-19. It will not be the burden of hunger, the burden of not having cash flow asset that pays you again and again. And that is the kind of thing that we need to do, because the world is economic in nature. The world is economic in nature. The world is economy in nature. The world works with numbers. The world works with cash flow. Cash is a necessary retreat for everyday living. Money is a necessary retreat for everyday living. Let me tell you this. You need cash flow. You need cash flow. You need cash flow during COVID, post-COVID, and out of COVID. You need cash flow. You need cash flow every day of your life. And you cannot afford to pretend that cash is flowing in your direction when it is not flowing, because cash flow never lies. Because cash flow never lies. So what kind of investment should you be investing in? The investment that will bring money into your pocket. The investment that would attract funds into your pocket. The investment that will draw money into your pocket. So all the kind of investment that a lot of people have been doing thus far, now is not the time to pretend anymore. It is now time to go back to your drawing board and begin to ask yourself, will this investment pay me? How many people do I want to be paying me every month? I want people to pay me rent every month. And I want minimum of 16 people to pay me rent every month. I want minimum of 16 people to pay me rent every month. And the reason why people are facing crisis today is because they do not have flow of cash. Money is not coming into their pocket as it's supposed to be. Cash flow never lies. Cash flow never lies. Cash flow never lies. Many people will pretend that they have assets. But let me tell you this. It is the man that has an asset that keeps on flowing, that money keeps on flowing into his pocket, that will never lie. Cash flow asset never lies. Cash flow asset never lie. You may have a land and you think that you are an investor, but until this crisis has come to you, you realize that your land is not an investment. Your land was actually a liability. Your land that is not working right now, that is not in producing income, whether the land may be in Aja, whether the land be in Mowe, in Agbara, whether the land be in Kogi, in Lulupeju, wherever the land may be situated, land may appreciate, but you don't need appreciation now. What you need is cash flow. What you need now is not appreciation of land. What you need right now is cash to flow. You cannot say my land is worth 1 billion. That it is worth 1 billion will not pay you dividends. That it is worth 1 billion will not put money in your pocket right now. That it is worth 1 billion will not give you the kind of lifestyle that you want to live right now. The reason people are going to be stagnated is because they have not been listening to the gospel of rental income when we started it. They have not been listening. And now is the time for everybody who has invested before to now get ready for more. Get ready to do more. Get ready to do more. Because guess what? Because this is the time that the world needs it more. This is the time that the world needs it more. Imagine that during this period where a lot of people are losing their jobs, where the people are losing their jobs, some people are even committing suicide. We have heard of stories of people committing suicide already. Just imagine people have lost their jobs. And you on your own, you have over 16 tenants paying you. Imagine that 8 out of those tenants lost their jobs and they are not unable to pay you. What will be happening to you? You have about minimum of about 8 persons still paying you rent. And just imagine that the rent every month from those people is about, let's imagine, maybe about 40,000 naira every month. If you multiply 8, you probably get 240,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken, every month. Yeah, is it? Yeah. Is that it? Okay, you'll be talking about, You're talking about 240,000 naira? He's talking about 320,000 every month. 320,000 every month. In 1 year, we are in 10 months, we're talking about 3.2 million in 1 year. 3.2 million in 1 year from 8 tenants. 3.2 million, minimum of 3.2 million in 12 months will have been generated from just 8 tenants. Now the person has lost his job. But how much will his job even be paying him before now? But because he has 16 tenants, and we are saying that half of the tenants have lost their job and they are not going to pay. 8 of them are going to be paying. How much will now be paid into that man's account every month, every year? A total of minimum of 3.2 million naira will have entered into the man's account in 10 months. The question will now be, because you are the savior of your own economy, you are the president of your own economy, you are the CEO of your own personal economy, and you cannot afford somebody to begin to navigate your destiny or your financial destiny by the decision that they make on a regular basis. So this is the time, and it has always been the time for you to invest in cash flow asset that will reward you for the rest of your life. And that is the dramatic step everybody needs to take. Everybody needs to take. Now I'm going to take some questions. I've been talking for a while. I'm going to take some questions. If you have any question, I'll need you to drop your question. If you have any question, I'll need to drop your question. Whether you're on Facebook, I see a lot of people on Facebook already. I see Mr. Onifade Olalekon, thank you. Shofoluwe Toyin, I celebrate you. Akiniyi Akiloye, I celebrate you. Sandra Chiwendu Akaga, I see you. Who again? I see Chimakpak Naik Nwakama. I see Wale Adeyemo. I celebrate you. I see Mr. Ola Folani. Yeah, I celebrate you. I see my good friend Peacemaker Dada. I honor you, my bro. I see Kafilat Lara. I celebrate you. Anyale Chidioke. I celebrate you. I give you my hand. I also celebrate everybody who Dochuku Achonye. I give you my hand. Hey, and my hands are all for Mr. Gabriel. I thank you, Sandra Adobe. My hands are up for you. Bayonle Lawal, I celebrate you. Uche Onoye Emechebe, I celebrate you. Oluwakemi Shojinu, I celebrate you. I give you hand. Mr. Taiwo Akilami, I give you hand. I give you my hand. I celebrate you. Stella Stito, I celebrate you. Mr. Ocholi Chris, I celebrate you. You are number one. So for those of us who have questions, I would like to take your questions. If you have questions, quickly. Where are the questions? I need to take questions now. Show me your questions. Send your questions if you have them. Somebody is saying something. I would like to take questions. Hey, thank you. I'm making so much sense here. Thank you. I'm making so much sense. I appreciate that. For those of us on Instagram, I celebrate you too. Temidayo, Thrive, you're welcome. You may need to be specific in that question. Mark Chi. You may need to be specific in that. Yes, yeah, Machi is asking for explaining title verification. We're not talking title today, so we're talking about the housing crisis. I want us to talk about the housing crisis. I want to talk about the housing crisis. The housing crisis. The housing crisis. I thought I saw a question. Okay. Somebody's asking, should I move to a smaller apartment, a cheaper apartment? No, don't move to a smaller apartment. Live in a bigger apartment. But you should rent it. Live in a bigger apartment. Invest in a smaller apartment, smaller unit. You can live anywhere you want to live. You can live anywhere you want to live, as long as you have the money to live. You can live anywhere. I can live in Banana Island if I have the cash flow to help me. I can live. You can live anywhere. You can live anywhere. But this is what you should never do. Never take for granted the market. Never take for granted small market, small unit of apartment. Small unit of apartment. Small unit of apartment. We're not talking about that. I will talking about that later tomorrow. Deal equitable properties. We'll do equitable properties. We're not talking about that now. What is the maximum apartment one can get from one plot of land? Maximum apartment. I don't know. But as long as your eyes can see, you can go. Depending on for me, is to go up. You can go up as long as you can go up. You can take maximum. You can take 100. I can take 100. You can take 100 units of apartment. Depending on how you want to go, how far you want to go. You can do 24 units. You can do 30 units. You can do 100. As long as you are willing to go up, maximum units of apartment you can go. Now somebody is asking me the delivery timeline for Fairfield apartment. We are still, because of the lockdown, we're not unable to work. So from next week we're going to have that to determine that, because even construction activities from starting during this lockdown will not hold from next week also, because of certain things because of we are waiting government recommendation as to how real estate companies or how construction sites should operate before we go into that. So that's just that. Then who is asking a question? Somebody is asking a question on maximum apartment that one should get. You can get as many. You can get as many as you want on every apartment. You can get as many as you want. You can get as many units as you want, depending on what you want to achieve. So what you probably need to do is to look at how much space you probably may want to have. You may want to go for 16, you may want to go for 8 on a plot of land to just get started, depending on the location. Like for example, if you're doing Suliri, I will advise you anytime, any day, do 1 bedroom apartment. Do 1 bedroom. In Suliri, do 1 bedroom. If you want to do 1 bedroom, do 1 bedroom. As long as do 1 bedroom. Some clients are asking what happens if the Fairfield apartment is not ready as at when it's supposed to be ready. We had a shortfall because of this coronavirus stuff. So we have not been able to work in the last 1 month or 2 or so. We've not been able to work, and also in the next 2 weeks, activity may not come back to full shape. That is why those activities will not be able to get those ones done. So that's just that. So which other questions are we supposed to ask? We're asking new questions on what kind of investment I need to be investing in right now. What kind of opportunity should I be taking up right now? The kind of investment to be taken up right now is save apartment, not just any apartment, but apartment with high income rates. Apartment that will give me the kind of value that I need. Apartment that will give me the kind of income that I should get. Apartment that will give me residual income. Apartment that will give me the kind of opportunity that I want to take. We are having the Mansfield issue. We're going to get started with work on Mansfield probably just after the lockdown. The lockdown exercise. We're going to have see how we could deliberate on the matter on Mansfield and get started with activity on Mansfield. Somebody is asking what is your take in crowdfunding real estate? Crowdfunding real estate. Anywhere you start from is your platform. I don't have more take. Anywhere you start from is your platform. As long as it makes you money, just get started. As long as it makes you money and it has good integrity and you're investing in credibility, just get it started. Anywhere you start from is your platform. Just get started that way. Any other question? We have what's the time now? Any other question? So I think we are off on Facebook. We are off on Facebook. Thank you everybody for joining us on this episode. Tomorrow we're going to have another great conversation and see how we're going to push it from there. Thank you very much. God bless you. Stay rich and free.